Hello everybody, I'm Takeshy and today I'm going to read the My Little Pony fun! Oh you, Queer Squall. Yep, that's a good introduction. Good morning, good evening, good everything. Hi everyone. No, that's not actually coming from me, I just read everything from the chat. But yeah, we are here to continue. The first flying unicorn. I don't want to say Skydancer because we are not talking about Skydancer, we are talking about the war against the darkness. Right here. Glad to see myself again. I have some coffee right here next to me. I just finished making it. And I can see my dog made a mess in my bed. You can see it as well. That's fine. She will probably come back at some point and make more mess on it. She loves to jump up and jump down on it. So let's see. We were at 22, right? Chapter 22, the darkness, the northern march. Yep, that's it. So you should probably see it right now. Let's move here so you can see everything. Hey, this is where we were. We were talking about double dealer who is dangerous. Here. And it was a lot of mind games. Yep, but in the beginning we have to score next. It's right here. This is the first XOXO that we were stopped. That's probably where we stopped. That's too far! There is no before this. Yeah, let's make a bookmark here. So this is where we were. Where we spoke about Cloud Shark, who is Trixie's father at this point. At least that's what we were told. He might be double dealing us as well. Or Trixie as well. Who knows? But yeah. We are here with some dangerous criminals. And some good friends as well. In the darkness. Still a lot to go. Because we are still far away, like, how much did you say? It was 2 months of walking or something like that? So yeah, that's gonna be a long thing. Let's see. Oh my god. How should I show this? Maybe on the right monitor side? Let's fix this. You can probably see on the side here. Or can you? This is the one. And there is one stopping point here. And there is one right near the end. But yesterday I couldn't stream. Because of reasons. There is a what? Good phrasing. Walking. Walking. That are 2 years of walking. So, well, I guess we will just see how far I can go, because it all depends on my voice. Yeah, walking, or flying, or whatever, they can move forward into darkness. I hope you can finish tonight, or at least go to next 2. I will see, because this is another long chapter, it's like 28,000 words or something like that. But yeah, let's find something that should be good at the darkness. Deep fear? Maybe? Should be fine. And let's start this. Because if I don't start, we will never finish. Right? So let's continue from where we left off. Actually, next thing is soothing. Let's see, finding soothing. Not this soothing. That's way too soothing. Even way more soothing. There we go. It should be nice. Featherwind took a deep, relaxing breath as he sat on the edge of the tree branch that would normally be far too weak to hold up his weight, especially since he sat near the top of the tree, at the very tip of that branch. He lightened his body weight so that branch could support his weight. The only downside to this was that he occasionally had to use his telekinesis to keep himself from being blown off the branch. Because he had such a deep connection to the wind, however, he always felt warning within him before the wind arrived. He could have also diverted the wind around him, but generally chose not to. Instead, he was content to let the wind blow wherever he willed. Where it willed. The scent of fresh brine around him was all around him. Okay, I was like, where is the verb in this? The forest on the hill he sat on had mist collecting around the treetops due to the chill of the night and the rich oxygen in the air. The moon shone brilliantly in the night sky above, but on occasion it was partially concealed behind clouds, which gave the clouds a cool, wispy glow that he loved to see. Featherwind was relaxed and content as he listened to the wind quietly blow through the air, and not so quietly blow through the tree branches. This lulled him, but he did not drift off to sleep. He was so satisfied with the moment he could listen to it forever. And sleeping in this area is not the easiest way because nightmares. But then, something very odd happened. The moon's light greatly intensified. This popped Featherwind's eyes open and drew his attention upward. The moon, with Nightmare Moon's shadowy silhouette, glowed brightly far too strongly to be natural. This was so out of place that it was frightening. Wait. Quill scroll? What is this? Ponies are not in this area at this moment. This army that we have are the first magical ponies. Nightmare Moon should not be in the moon yet. This is probably a... Okay, I guess he's asleep. This was so out of place that it was frightening. Then something emerged from the moon and coalesced into a more material form. It was dark-eyed mare with widespread wings and a dark horn. She had a mane and tail that looked like the window to the stars. She wore a tiny black crown behind her horn, and she also wore a wide chest guard that had the image of wailing gibbous moan, which actually matched her kitty mark. She gazed down Featherwind with soft and kind blue eyes. From above, she gently descended down in order to frighten Featherwind no further. Meanwhile, in the background, the moon lost its Nightmare Moon shadow as if Luna herself emerged from it. Yeah, it makes sense that she is asleep. Oh, Princess Luna, this is an unexpected visit. Featherwind called upon her presently. It may be unexpected, but I pray not disappointing, Luna expressed by gesturing to her chest with a hoof. Please forgive this intrusion into your dreams. May I have permission to join you? Oh, by all means. Please pull up a cloud. Featherwind created a small cloud closer to his right. Luna smiled in gratitude and then gently floated over to land on top of the cloud. The moment she did, it glowed a bit as if bathed in lunar light. She settled down on the cloud by tucking her hooves beneath her. I am the princess of the night. It is thus within my power to enter dreams, but lately most of those around me no longer sleep at night or indeed ever. Few remain within our company that needs my services anymore. Usually I only show up to dispel nightmare or two, but since you note such foul imagery within this own head, I thought to partake of thy company for pleasure instead. Is Luna rhyming? Wait just a second. Yeah, that's rhyming. At least the last two parts of the sentence. Within thine own head, I thought to partake thy company for pleasure instead. She learned a bit from Sakura. Featherwind looked at her for a moment, then said, "For a moment there, you sounded like just like Sakura." Yeah, same thing, same mind, think alike. Then Featherwind looked out with an intrigued expression as he said, "So what you are saying is, this is a dream?" Featherwind realized. Great minds, eh? Indeed. Luna complained with a slow, smooth nod towards Featherwind. You are fast asleep. After she said that, she examined her surroundings curiously, then said, No, I sense your surroundings is also but memory. She regarded Featherwind. You were actually here, in your own past, or future. Featherwind nodded. Correct. I was here about 11 or 12 years ago, and I spent 7 hours in isolation in order to commune with nature. I expected the isolation to be hard on me, and it was a little but... Wow, wait. It was a little hard on me. To be hard on me, and it was a little, but I endured it far better than I initially expected. Before that, I recently dropped out to Wonderbots Academy. The differences between the two settings felt extreme, like day and night. That sounds like they dropped him out, but he left. Shouldn't you say that before I had recently left the Wonderbot Academy? Seven months? Wait. I said months? I think I did, but it's 7 months of isolation. And it was not 11 or 12 years ago, it was like 11,000 years later than this. The differences between the two settings felt extreme, like day and night. His eyes shifted towards Luna. I found more peace here during this period of my life. But you care much for Lady Sternthing, do you not? Luna inquired curiously. Yet, I do not sense her here. You really endured such time alone from her as so well? Forgive me if I'm mistaken, but it does not seem within thy nature. It was the toughest part of my life alone here. Featherwind admitted it as his gaze directed for the gun. It felt like she was the only component missing in my life that would have made me feel complete back then if she had been here. Forgive me for prying, but aren't you engaged to the lady? Yes. Featherwind looked at her. We were simply waiting to return to our own time, so that our family could celebrate with us. I see. Luna looked forward a bit blankly. She then glanced down to her right for a quick second, then she thought further on the issue, then looked back at Featherwind as she asked, But isn't some of your own family present in this time period? Your father, mother, and uncle are present? But that's not the same, they are just clones, Luna. just as yourself. Yes, I know what you are getting at, but they are time clones. They will not remember anything that transpires in this time period. If we married each other in this time period, my real father and uncle won't be really won't really be a part of it, and they will miss it. However, Fadamin looked up. I have thought hard on the issue. My mother is no longer in the time period I came from. She died a long time ago. Furthermore, while your sister Celeste does exist in my time period, you do not. At least, not to an accessible degree. He said with a wistful glance at the moon. Neither does Twilight, and her friends exist there, and any of their friends. They are not even born yet. When I come from, though, I do have some familiarity and friendship with Applejack's grandmother, when she was just a young filly. Federer grinned, fondly, and also in amusement at the situation as she looked down. I tried to save her life at one time. I almost succeeded. I had no idea how much in peril the world would have been if I completely failed to save her back then. It really makes me think. I agree, Starbase put in. I take it that this is the full reason you regarded Orchard Farmer special. You said Derpy was the one of the reasons, but now you're telling me a bunch of your friends had lived in future Ponyville. Is this the full reason that you once spoke of your fondness of that place? Federer looked at his daughter and nodded in confirmation, then said, it is. Also, there's the fact that I once visited it myself. Because of that visit, I confirmed the fact that some of the Orchard family still lives there, including Baby Smith, but she called herself Granny Smith by that time. Also, I have a question before I continue. I might continue while I'm waiting for the answer, but did they get engaged in their own time period, or did they get engaged in while traveling through time? I know it has been said before, but it's something that I forgot. Did they get engaged while they were traveling with the Doctor, or before that? I know they are not. They didn't have their wedding yet, but time travel is weird. Yeah. Oh yes, they get engaged in the ancient past when Federer presented the plot armor. Yeah, it would be really strange that they went back home, and yeah, we already had a wedding somewhere far from you. You didn't even see our engagement, you didn't even see our wedding. That would be one thing that they should not do. That's for sure. So I'm with Federer that they should go back to their own time period and say, wait a bit, and after they go back to their own time period, tell their friends that they are engaged, then later get the wedding prepared together. Because it's not just theirs, it's a family occasion. So I hope they will not get wed at this point. Federer looked up as he thought back on the memory. That's the point of the blind reaction, yep. We will see how it unfolds, because obviously they will decide on it at some point. Federer looked up as he thought back on the memory. Those who still live there call themselves the Upper Family for quite a while, since the Uppers became their primary trade. The discovery of the Zapapper trees gave their farm a boost with the budding of fruit during the time when it was needed the most, so it became their benchmark for many decades. Of course, he showed, their family became quite large by then, so most of them spread out to the farthest corners of Equestria. But those who remained in Ponyville became upper farmers first and foremost, hence their new family nickname. Also, the apple cider is really great. Everyone in Ponyville goes there, even from Catalot. Federer released a long breath as he looked forward. It's funny how much will change there, and yet so much will stay the same in the most important ways. He looked at his daughter. The bond will be rebuilt, for example, and yet it still looks the same, looks so familiar to me. Federman looked forward, with a fond smile as he did. Darby took us under the door to Bonneville, and spoke fondly of many of the residents there. He shook his head. But I had no idea back then that so many of them would end up as my friends, as well as at a later date despite such a wide time gap between us. He looked back at his daughter. But I learned since then never to underestimate the magic of friendship, and that village was a hub for such magic, and that is the full reason why I regard it as so special. Did you say hi to Granny Smith while you visited that village in the future? Sabi asked curiously. Her father shook his head, then said, No, I saw no good reason to spook and confuse her. She was so old at that point in time that I grew concerned that the shock of seeing me might give her old Dicker a challenge to deal with. Besides, she seemed happy out there, and I for one did not want to disturb that. That's all that really mattered to me. Starbase looked forward with a grin, and blinked as she said, It's mind-boggling to realize that, because you told me all this now, and everything you just said is written in that book this girl gave you. True, but recall the fact that I did not read this chapter until way later, long after I was done with this experience. Fadawin reminded his daughter. Starbase looked thoughtful for a moment. After 10 seconds of silent contemplation, she regarded her father and asked him, So what happened next? As requested, Fadawin went on with this story. Oh, it's long, okay. Sounds like you are having second thoughts about timing of your wedding. Luna observed with small cunning grin. This conversation was proceeding in the direction that she hoped it would so far. You are hoping it can be for that. You can be there for that, aren't you? Fadawin asked her with a knowing grin, aimed back at Princess Luna. I think I know what they will do. They will do a mock wedding here and wed later on in their own time period as well. That's the best solution that they can do, right? It's only to see another excuse for Pinkie Pie to throw another party. Also, the wedding would be the best weapon against the darkness, wouldn't it? Because joy is the best weapon against it. New predictions looked in. Luna joked with a small smile of amusement, but then her expression became serious. To answer thine own question, yes, it has been my hope that we might witness this most blessed of occasions, and I was also thinking of the issue in another way. Since we are but mere time clones, our existence is as fleeting as this dream is, but during that dream, we are as real as any of our original selves, and our feelings are real as well. These are feelings that might even empower your stone. Yup. Luna pointed to it briefly, then dug that same leg back beneath her again, as she was finished with the gesture. Fadawin regarded it. Indeed, he was wearing the red crystal on his neck, which was actually an arrow in continuity to this time period he was dreaming about. Back then, he did not have it yet. Also, they can empower the crystal heart as well, not just the red crystal. But I suppose it had become a part of me ever since then. Even in my dreams, it has the capacity to follow me wherever I go. That might be a problem later on. If you cannot deal with the darkness that is held within, because the only part of Sombra that is still pure, but still was a little bit got by the darkness, because I think that there's a little bit of darkness in that as well, in that crystal. It's not pure white after all. The energy such a celebration may evoke. Oh, the energy such a celebration may evoke could even be harmful in saving this world. Luna went on. There is no greater power than love, and the love shared amongst friends magnifies its potential. This is a war, but a war on the future spirit of Equestria. We could use every tool we can get in our arsenal. Besides, Luna waved him off with a ring. The two of you can always remarry again when you return to your own time period. Why limit yourself to merely one celebration when you can instead have two? That's a good point, Featherwind realized. That way, every creature who truly deserves this can be part of our celebration. Aside from that, the Happy, Vision, the Doctor, Starming, and Discord are also real. They will remember this celebration anyway. Indeed, Luna agreed. Also, Luna can say that, yeah, there was one occasion where there is a murder war happening and love saved the day. I was about to say that none of the changelings are here, but that's not true because two of them are here. And actually, seeing that Chrysalis is not in this area, I kinda have a spoilerish feeling that Chrysalis will not change in the real canon story. Because we still haven't had that. And you have another point. Featherwind looked thoughtful. This war is over the soul of Equestria. With the stakes this high, we can't afford to hold back. Aside from that, deep down, I've been in pain because of the patience I had to endure at the tooth of this lady of mine, still not being my wife yet. I'm sick and tired of realizing she still isn't my wife every time I wake up in the morning. Speaking of your fiancée, Luna brought up, you might find she feels the same way. Since she is the one of the few who can dream here, I suppose you would know. Featherwind figured with a cunning grin passed to Luna. In response, she flashed him with a small proud smile. By the way, Featherwind went on, as a change of subject, have you visited Vision's dreams yet? I know for a fact she adores you. Featherwind was caught off guard by the look of guilt that suddenly crossed her face as she looked away. Eventually she said, yes, for a few times. That's not a good idea to visit Vision's dreams because her dreams are basically visions. But I also recall a time when my disposition to the young lady was not so nice. There are many things I regret doing my time spent as Nightmare Moon. Her eyes shifted to look as Featherwind as she said. She explained to me that it is I who was responsible for her prophetic dreams when she was but a young filly. Truthfully, I do not recall doing this deliberately, but if it's true that the realm of dreams is timeless, even now we rest in the field of vision drawn from your own past. Just as well, dreams can also reveal the future, though it is only but one of many possible outcomes. In this case, you might feel regret as Nightmare Moon, but we also have to thank you because you are showing nightmares which come true if you don't act upon them. So, if she was not Nightmare Moon, then Celestia wouldn't have been able to save so many ponies. Like Featherwind. So now, we are taking everything back, where who is responsible for everything? It's that in twist, huh? Yeah, because we are thinking that, oh yeah, Quill Scroll is here. He is the reason that everything changed. Everything started. No, it's actually Nightmare Moon. It's Luna. Changing to Nightmare Moon is responsible for Quill Scroll staying alive at that moment. So Nightmare Moon is a good pony. There we go. You might never know when what your evil genius will get forward, because great evil gets great good as well. Luna sighed with regret as she looked down. I was a terrible mare in my time in the past. I must confess I encountered you once during my time as Nightmare Moon. Why I do understand that hadn't occurred for you yet. I see this moment as my one and only chance to apologize for the grief you will suffer at the hands of my own past self. For she will not apologize for her actions. Please. She bowed her head to him, briefly closed her eyes, and requested honestly. Forgive me. This news was a bit startling for the wind, and it carried with deep implications. His mind started spinning. She just told him he would encounter Nightmare Moon at least once during the time in the future, and it probably was the real Nightmare Moon instead of Temple or clone. This also implied that he would survive this adventure in this time period, and also manage to take it back somewhere closer to this native timeline. Based on what she said, there was a little else he could safely infer. Also, he already read one part of the book, didn't he? That he knows that they will have a baby. That's all he knew, and he stopped reading forward after that. So he should already know that they will survive. Princess Luna. Featherwind looked at her fully. Even during your time as Nightmare Moon, Vision told me you were actually still Princess Luna whenever your past self slept, so I was already aware that was good in you, even back then. But you still shouldn't spoil me. No spoilers! I didn't want to know that I was gonna meet you. That's true, but now he's learned that he will return to his native timelines eventually. He did know that before, didn't he? Because the book starts with him telling the story to a daughter in his own native timeline. Everything you have done in the past is just a nightmare from which you have awakened. How can I control myself whenever I sleep either? So I cannot blame you for the same. I both hear and acknowledge our apology on behalf of your past self's behavior. As I promise you, I will not hurt anything you say or do in my future as a personal insult against you. You already have proof of this. Isn't that true? When I regarded you in my future and your past, I didn't regard you with any anger or bitterness. Luna thought back on the memory carefully, then replied, to be honest, you punched me in the face. To be honest, your reaction seemed to be of pity and concern. It must have horrified you to witness what you considered a dear friend behave like such a monster. Of course, for me at the time, I had no idea why you regarded me that way, so I eventually dismissed those instincts. I will say, and it is nice to finally have some closure on this mystery, as I can fully realize why you felt that way at the time. Featherwind glanced down for a second as he thought to himself. Given the circumstances, it actually does sound like the way I would regard her at that moment. Featherwind looked back at her and said, I have done things in my past I have come to regret as well. Your sister felt the same way when she banished you to the moon and didn't foresee the danger building up between you until it was too late. Starlight Grimmer once enslaved the whole town and nearly destroyed all of Equestria in a time-traveling fiasco. Of course, explain why she is so nervous to participate in anything resembling time travel once again. Also, Starlight Grimmer is responsible for Twilight actually gaining her wings back, which is still a headcanon of mine. Tracy once told me she regretted the fact that she was called arrogant, rude, and insensitive, but still just as great and powerful as ever. Also, it's not her fault that everything that transpired in Ponyville transpired. It's basically Rainbow Dash's fault. Because she was more arrogant than her. I can go on and on again. Like this, with every single pony and creature in our minds. Altogether, it proves that the thing we have in common is imperfection. That isn't something to be too ashamed of. It's merely a part of life. We must learn to accept it, so we can let it go. I was waiting to see what kind of music we will have in the next one, but that's actually good. The soothing music right here. Alright, by the time period we are talking about, this would have regrets too. Yep. I see thine own journal has greatly enhanced your wisdom. Oh, that's Luna. Okay. Luna commended with a soft, hard smile, fast to Featherwind. Featherwind shrugged softly, slightly, as he said, "We are all in this together. We are all connected, even though time and space. That's one of the things I've learned on my journey. I don't just forgive you, Luna. I love you as a friend." "I got you in high esteem as well." Luna returned with a nod and closed her eyes for a second. After she opened her eyes and lifted her head, they stared at each other for a silent moment, both simply enjoying each other's company. But then, all of a sudden, Luna quickly whipped her head up to her right, as if she heard something alarming. "What?" Featherwind asked with alarm. "What is it?" "Featherwind?" Luna rose to stand on the cloud, as she originally laid on. "It is time for you to awaken. Danger is ahoof." She closed her eyes and broadly spread her wings. A brilliant light projected from her. Next thing Featherwind knew, he woke up. Okay, I have a feeling that we will have a dangerous situation, right? Let's see. It's not really tense, but this should be nice for this. "Let Her Majesty go!" Featherwind heard Sombra aggressively insist, as Featherwind woke up and gradually regained his senses. "Why are you doing this?" Princess Kaden asked in a hurt tone. Featherwind scanned around him and rose to his hooves to assess the local situation. "Don't hurt her!" Shining Armor begged with a strong concern. Featherwind located the problem. The dragon Grapple was backing off from a semicircle of creatures, mostly ponies, while he had Princess Flurryhard in his claws. Monclaw held tightly in front of her neck, ready to either snap her neck or tear her throat out. "Grapple, I demand you to let her go this instant!" Amber firmly commanded. For a moment, Grapple pretended to be afraid. "Oh, of course, Princess. I'm sorry for ever offending you," he said in a very clear, sarcastic tone, then called out, "Ha! I fooled you, didn't I? I've waited for a very long time to say this. No, I don't have to listen to you anymore, not when I have this!" He revealed from the other claw that wasn't holding Flurryhard's throat a black crystal. "See this? I have a new master now, so I don't have to listen to you anymore." I had a feeling that someone would have been infected. "This is your last warning," Sombra growled menacingly. He should have done some more poetry. As he said that, a ring of red crystal spikes grew out from the ground and angrily aimed towards Grapple. This was especially true behind the dragon, which prevented him from slowing back in growth from the rest of the group. Any further, let her go! No, Sombra, please don't antagonize him, Florian kindly requested. Your Majesty! Sombra looked stunned at the request and quite reluctant to obey, despite him swearing on an oath of loyalty and obedience to her. I have no idea why they are so stupid. Quill, all they have to... wait, we have a lot of unicorns here. All they have to do is teleport the crystal away from his hands. They don't have to teleport it in their area, they just teleport it away at the back end of the area that they have. They don't have to teleport it away, out of the defensive aura that the crystal heart is projecting. It's just a furthest away point. I know you can say that it's defended by dark magic, but still. They're being cautious since he has a hostage. That's true, but they don't have to be there. In that situation, sometimes it's hard to think clearly. Wait, isn't it Florian's, Featherwind's basic specialty to think clearly in a tense situation? Also Twilight, also all the other princesses. It's okay. Florian assured in a calmer voice. Trust me, I am in no danger. Ha! I beg to differ! Grabber mocked at the Florian and narrowed his eyes at Sombra. Do as she says! You pathetic pony, or be willing to spend your time cleaning up her throat off the ground. Sombra was shaking with fury. He closed his eyes and bowed his head while he shook, struggling very hard to contain his anger and fear. Without him looking, the red crystal spikes slowly withdrew into the earth. Heh! I knew you would do it! Grabber mocked. You ponies are all so weak and pathetic! We all know it's not him. He wouldn't do that if he wasn't being infected by the dark crystal. And what about me? Amber called harshly as she crouched low, as if getting ready to pounce towards him. Do you think I am weak too? I promise you, whatever you do to that pony, I will return to you tenfold. Whether or not you are immune to my Dragon Lord commands, I can still beat the scales of your miserable little hide. I bet you wouldn't be immune to that. I would like to see you try, Grabber sneered. Amber snorted flames out of her nostrils as she declared, Okay, that's it, you're toast. Amber, wait, please. Princess Twilight begged, which caused Amber to hesitate. Princess Twilight? Now it was Amber's turn to look stunned. He's got your niece. There's nothing to harm her. Even I can stand this. I'm stunned that you can. Also, this is what the Dark Crystal wants. It's a struggle. He wants to divide them. But actually, obviously, as I said in the last episode when we were reading, they would want to do something about the Crystal Heart. And how to do that? Well, they had to take care of the princess that is emitting the Crystal Heart. Believe me, Amber, I know. It's a struggle for me to calm down as well. But we have to do it for her sake, as long as she's in danger. Twilight argued to Amber, which cooled the Dragon Lord down for a moment. Twilight turned a concerned look to Grabber, willing to give him benefit of doubt for the moment. Why are you doing this, Grabber? Can we just talk about this? Also, this encounter is coming after years of the stress. That's a factor in this encounter too. That's true. Talk! Grabber growled in irritation. That's all you pathetic ponies ever do, is talk or verse, yet sing. For almost 2 years now I had to endure this incessant talking and singing and helping each other. Blech. I am so sick and tired of all your sick and pathetic ways. I was invited here to fight the war. Gobble thumped to his chest. I thought this war was going to be cool. I thought we were going to fight all kinds of terrifying and cool monsters, but instead I got tortured for 2 years straight with your immense expensive ways, and I'm so sick of it. I hear you, buddy. Rainbow Dash chimed in. I was hoping to fight all kinds of cool and crazy monsters too. If that's all you want, then let the princess go, so we can step outside the crystal heart barrier right now and go fight some crazy monsters. I'm actually kind of hyped for that as well. Better than being bored here all the time. Rainbow Dash said, with a roll of her eyes. Rubber closed his eyes and chuckled a bit, then said, out of all the ponies I found myself painfully surrounded with. He opened his eyes and gazed proudly at Rainbow Dash. You are far by the coolest one among them. Really? Rainbow Dash asked in surprise as she flew back a bit in midair and drew her head back at the same time. The scrunched up expression on her face intensely conveyed confusion as she continued to regard the dragon grapple. I mean, I know I'm awesome and all, but I'm really surprised you think so too. I thought you hated all ponies, me included. I do hate ponies, Grabber exclaimed. You are simply the best of the worst. The first time I ever encountered you, you emerged from a pathetic dragon costume. I beg your pardon? Right, cried of outrage. Offended with a stump of proof. I put a lot of work in that costume to make it fabulous. Apologize to me at this instant. Righty, I think we have higher priorities at this moment. Applejack said with a tight wince of tense nervousness, afraid that Gobble would grow so annoyed that he would harm his hostage. My point is, Gobble said with an annoyed crowd due to the interruption. The moment you emerged from the costume, you were the one. I was mostly convinced that was truly willing to fight me. So was I. Righty insisted in a hurt, whining tone. You're that spiky poo. Anyone who dares to set a scale on his little itty-bitty head is not going to see my most ladylike side. Oh, thanks, Rarity, Spike said to Rarity as his eyes turned into hard impulse at her. And Rarity didn't notice that either. The second time I met you, Grabber went on, was when you tried to reclaim death. He seemed to point at Flashback News flapping in the air, but Featherwind assumed he actually meant the Titan's shield that Flashback News had strapped to his side. A moment later, that theory was confirmed. You came for the shield that I found in the desert flare and square. Which, then I won the race. Won in a race, Spike reminded Grabber as he looked back at Grabber, while his eyes returned to normal. Then you challenged me to a race personally. Grabber continued to Rainbow Dash with a stabbing point at her using the same claw and held the black crystal. I know what happened, but then convinced me to drop the shield so it would not get in my way as we raced back to the top of the lava mountain. As he said that, he gradually lowered the point of his claw. Instead of racing me fair and square, you took that opposite to nab the shield and take off with it. I was furious at you for that, but the cloud that held back the crystal gave a pushing motion towards her. I closed his eyes for 1 second, during which time his voice and face became much calmer. Later that night, he opened his eyes again at Rainbow Dash. I was lying on my back and looking up at the stars, while the light of the nearby pools of lava glowed, and I remember thinking how devious your tactic was. You wanted something, and you just took it. The claw held the back crystal, suddenly yanked close to his chest. For some reason I thought it would have been so silly if he was like this. The claw that held the black crystal suddenly yanked the black crystal away from himself. But no. You nabbed it from me, so you earned the treasure. Dan, just a moment ago, you said you would be willing to join me as we participate in an epic battle of ages outside the barrier against a horde of rampaging monsters. So I say this to you with all my sincerity. You are the coolest pony I have ever met. I say this because deep down, you have the heart as strong as dragons. That's kinda true. Amber agreed with a proud grin to Rainbow Dash. You are more competitive than most of the ponies I see around here. Applejack looks up and says, "Hey! What about me?" Amber pounded with her chest with a fist and used the same claw to point at Rainbow Dash. Major respect points to you, my friend. All of these compliments fell straight to Rainbow Dash's head. In mid-air, she struck a bold heroic pose with her forward hooves on her hips. She puffed her chest in pride, which inadvertently caused her to make horsey noise for a second. Also, he got some shades from somewhere. We don't know where it came from, but they appeared on her eyes. Also, some limelight appeared from nowhere. And the shearing sword. Let's not get carried away now, Applejack cautioned. Record the consequences of putting too much fire in Rainbow Dash's already formidable ego. Too bad you are a fancy pony. Grubber went on, the casual shrug and regret, and briefly closed his eyes for a second, which opened again. He went on to the next sentence. In another life, we could have been bad buds. Also, wait, I have the power now, I have this crystal. Points the crystal at him, at Rainbow Dash, and turns Rainbow Dash into a dragon. Now we are friends. That would have been funny, but no. That wouldn't happen. What exactly is it that you are trying to accomplish here? Starlight Grimmer asked, as she emerged from the crowd around here. Flareheart is the main one protecting us all from the danger outside of the barrier. If you kill her, you will die too. It doesn't make sense to threaten her like this because you won't gain anything by it. You are kind of logged. Shows what you know. I was smart and made the deal with the Dark Star. Grubber bragged proudly as he thumbed his chest. That's why it gave me this. Grubber held up the black crystal. I had to give something in exchange, however. But in my eyes, it didn't ask for much. All it wanted was to kill you all. And this fancy pony here is the primary obstacle in this way, wiping you all out. Grubber cut a claw across the air. What's the point of this battle? Anyway, we are just time clones here. We are just false copies of our original selves. Nothing we say or do will be remembered. So what's the point of this pointless existence? But the Dark Star agreed to remedy this. As soon as I consume this crystal, here's the black crystal from emphasis. I'll be transformed into something more real, realer than even my original self. Then not only will I be the new Lord of the Dragons, but I will be the Lord of all creatures in this world. Then nothing can stop me. All will rue the day they heard the name Gobble. With that, Gobble shoved the black crystal quickly in his mouth, then consumed it. Good thing that Gobble is a dragon and they eat crystals, and no pony else could be able to consume it. Because only dragons can eat crystals. Not even the Arcroa eat them. Seconds later he trampled as a black core engulfed him that looked like a black flame. He expanded 3 times his original size. His claws grew much longer and sharper, so did the spikes along his back. He grew menacing horns from his head that first curved down, then lifted up, much like his own horns. Is he turning to a torch? It would have been so funny. Oh yeah, I am now Torch. And it would be so stupid if Gobble's time clone became a real dragon at this point, as he said. that he is turning a dragon, and he is actually gonna be the Lord of the Dragons for a long time. When his eyes opened, his pupil blazed with purple energy. During this whole process, he continued to maintain his grasp on Fully Hard. By the time his dark transformation was complete, he was holding on to a lot more than just his throat. His claw nearly surrounded her entire body. Equestria, we have a problem, Spike said fearfully as his eye pupils shrank, while Garber's shadow loomed over a tiny baby dragon as well as several others. Excuse me, Spike is not a baby dragon anymore. He has wings. So that is how Thrash started. Oh my god, he is the father of Emperor, the new Lord of Dragons. Dun dun dun. Well, at least his horns are like that, right? Going down and up like ram's horns. We will see if this is how it goes. Probably not. That's much better. Garber said in a slightly moody voice. Now I have the power to destroy all of my enemies. No, all of my enemies. That was dark magic, alright? But I mean, could feel it. But what concerned me more that was the fact that he was directing two sources of dark energy, and the second was far worse than the first. The red crystal burned around his neck hummed a warning, and despite how large a corrupted dragon loomed over them, Tadamin's eyes were actually drawn to Sombra as he realized they were all about to be in much greater trouble. Sure enough, Sombra was constantly trembling with anger. His black mane was turning into flickering black flame, and he was about to burst. Noticing this, Featherwind wanted to warn every creature around him, but his voice got caught in his throat due to his rising panic. You have chosen to reveal yourself as a monster, Starsfell said. Oh, Starsfell? You have chosen to reveal yourself as a monster, Starsfell said as he stepped forward from a crowd body. Congratulations! You now have our undivided attention. I wonder if you also noted how literally certain you are. Well, to that I say ha to you. Your numbers are going to matter soon, not after I crush a little filly front here. Garber threatened. Upon hearing that, it was the last straw for Sombra. His mind snapped at the moment, and his eyes flat open. The burst of purple and black energy spread beyond the side of his eyes. At first his pupils were large, but quickly narrowed into the snake-like slits. He snapped his gaze back to Garber with a look of intense rage. He rose up in his hind legs, then smashed both of his forward hooves on the ground. Subsequently, hundreds of black crystals shot from the ground and stabbed into Garber from all around him. Yet, not a single one hit Flurry Hard. In response, Garber screamed in pain and stunned surprise, but he continued to cling on tiny Flurry Hard relative to his new size. Sombra, no! Flurry Hard cried out to him. That is basically the reason they chose Garber, not Sombra. The Dark Star knows that Sombra already has the darkness within him. Because obviously it's from him, from the darkness itself, it would know where it's spread around. They just wanted to unleash it. Garber's roar of pain shifted to roar of anger in stubborn determination. He then managed to smash himself free of some of the spikes, although some spikes continued to stick inside of him, but more black crystals replaced those in seconds. Yeah, Sombra was already struggling with it. I have no idea why the doctor chose that Sombra. He should have chosen one of the still not yet infected Sombra out there. But we don't know the ways of the doctor. This might have been one of his plans that we don't know yet. Meanwhile, every other creature froze in shock at this highly unexpected sight. Just like Double Dealer is part of his plans, because he is actually painting target on these creatures. Garble, Sombra, and Double Dealer are great targets for the darkness. While it is focusing on these characters, the others are safe from it. But then again, it's a great danger as well. Release me, or I'll crush your precious pony princess! Garble threatened. Aren't you going to do that anyway? Sombra asked in a sinister voice as he trotted up one of the black spikes he erected in order to draw closer to the much larger dragon ahead of him. I'm actually looking forward to that part now. That princess you have in your catches is the only reason I am not ripping you to shreds at this very moment. But as soon as I kill your precious shield. Sombra looked up at Garble's face as the flames of his eyes doubled in size, and his snake-like eyes pupils widened. We are going to have such fun together, Sombra said in a tone that dripped with sinister glee. One good advice is to think about Doctor's plan. How does all this playing out might be part of Doctor's plan? Everything is part, even if it's not, it's a part of it. Garble's head drew back, greatly alarmed by the evil pony he was beholding. That looked so sinister, it actually scared Dragon despite his own dark magic corruption. Also, we do not hear anything like the whizzing sound of the screwdriver right now. If this was something that he didn't predict, he would have grabbed his precious screwdriver already, whipping it around to cleanse Garble and Sombra. Don't do this, Sombra! Twilight cried out desperately. You are not like your original self. You can be a better pony. Do you think you know darkness? Sombra barked at Garble, ignoring Twilight's comment in the background completely. You have only just tasted it recently. Pay attention, my new student, for I will show you true terror. I am only giving you just a small taste of what's to come. Sombra lifted her hoof a bit. One of the spikes that stepped in Garble grew spikes of its own within Garble's body, then it cruelly twisted itself from side to side. Garble bit his tongue to prevent himself from screaming in pain, but he was determined to not look so weak. The rest will come as soon as you get rid of that pathetic shield of yours, Sombra went on. In time, I will ask you a question. I will ask you if you still think ponies are weak after I rip your souls to pieces. Enough! Twilight cried out, before finally teleporting away from Garble's grasp, which she honestly could have done all along. She appeared 17 feet further into the air, and spread her wings as glorious light spread from her. The crystal heart also appeared behind her, and started spinning faster and faster. It helped her to create this shining light. As the light burned into both Garble and Sombra, it weakened the dark magic sword on both of them. The black crystal Sombra stood on started to crack, and the cracks never stopped spreading as long as that light continued to radiate down on top of them both. When she opened her eyes, it was full of radiating light, which completely concealed her normal eyes. Sombra, I tell you, I was never in any real danger, Flayheart called out, in what sounded like thousands of voices speaking at once. And most of it, not even hers. Canterlot voice? Oh, I mean, it's not the Canterlot voice because she was never in Canterlot, but it's definitely the real voice. It was the voices of every pony and creature that radiated the energy of the crystal heart. Well, it's a little bit different then. Okay, please respect my wishes and allow me to hoover this. Sadly, I don't have any voice effects right here. It would have been fun. But like Avatar in the Avatar state. Yeah, I know what you mean like that. Or Twilight in the Avatar state, right? Because she had one episode when she was in that state as well. Well, at least one state when she was speaking in that state. Several eyes and mane returned to normal as he beheld His Majesty in sun door and lowered his head somberly. Sombra is lowering his head somberly as damaged black spikes retreated back to the earth. As since he was standing on one of them, that also meant he returned to the earth. Yes, Your Majesty, Sombra replied obediently, and in a voice full of regret. With that out of the way, Florian then regarded the Garber, who shivered in cowardly fear before His majestic magical might. Garber, every creature that roams upon this planet has a choice which side their souls choose to favor. Today you have proven you favor the darkness, and by doing so, you have also proven you have no place among us. Since you favor the oblivion that the darkness offers so much, then return to the oblivion from whence you came. You can start above us, spawn much faster, fast enough to blur with a brilliant white light. It seemed to charge and build up something. During that time, Florian's wing curved and cringed inwardly. While that happened, she continued to hover there without flapping her wings. No! Garber cried it out in fear as she shaded his eyes with claws. No! Florian, don't antagonize him. I'm using her own words against yourself. She was infected by the darkness. It's not just his own choice. When Florian's wings finally spread apart to its maximum length, an explosive beam of light shot down and consumes Garber's entire body. The beam continued to pour down on top of him as he turned into light as well, then disappeared within the beam of light. This process held up for 10 seconds before the beam thinned out and finally disappeared. I have to say this is a bad choice because Florian is actually using up some of the happiness charge, let's just say it like that they gathered throughout the 2 years with singing and everything in the crystal heart. Crystal heart above Florian slowed its rapid spinning. While it did that, she gently floated down to the ground. When her hooves touched the earth again, her wings sank to the ground as she was exhausted. She also lowered her head and sagged her shoulders. Even her mane looked both ragged and limped at the same time. Everyone who witnessed this was stunned. So was Starbreeze so many years later. Florian, you didn't have to kill him? Remarked Kina in a stunned voice. Yes, she did. Shining armor like you, as he stepped beside his wife, put a leg around her back, then pulled her close to him. Gamma was from the future. He traveled with us for years. He studied our strength and weakness. Imagine what would happen to our mission if the enemy got hold of that information. They already know. They already know that information. If he got the crystal, the dark crystal, he already spoke to the dark star. He probably shared all the information that he had. So no. Also, by consuming that, he became part of the darkness. So everything he knew became part of the darkness as well. But Sombra becoming part of the darkness as well. That's the most irritating thing right here. Not to mention the fact that he didn't really exist here in the first place. Stitcher added. Very few of us do. She only dispelled his time clone. The original Grapple is still back in his own timeline, safe and sound, and none the wiser about what he tried to do here today. Possibly. Also, again, I know that Florian wanted only to reveal that what Grapple's true intentions are, that he would be willing to side the dark side, but all they had to do to take away the Dark Crystal. Even you said that Florian could easily teleport away herself. She could easily teleport away the Dark Crystal as well. And only cleans the Dark Crystal with the Crystal Heart. That's all they had to do. And then Sombra wouldn't turn into his King Sombra self, and Grapple wouldn't have gained the power either. She was never in danger. So basically, that will be our fate eventually? Spike realized somebody. But before that happens, the rest of us have a mission to complete. Shining Armor reminded with a little bit of steel in his voice. We must complete this mission, or our original self won't exist in the first place. The Dark Star will seek to destroy everything we hold dear, long before all of us, except the natives of this time period, were even born. But yeah, this actually makes a little bit of, let's say, they made an example out of Grapple, but again, they lost a lot of joy that was had within the Crystal Heart. Even you said that she is now exhausted. She used up a lot of energy that could have been used against the Dark Crystal. And this probably shaken a lot of them as well. There is no joy when somebody is dying. There is very little joy in that. So let's get back. And with that mind, I have a request. Some approached. He lifted his head in order to regard Florian. Your Majesty, long before your time, I once served another who was very much like you. She was Crystal Queen, and she ruled Crystal Empire with benevolence and compassion, but also fairness and strength. She filled the world with light and hope. So strong was it that it projected high into the air for all to see. I myself helped her to build this society, until I later destroyed that, apparently. The darkness that corrupted my magic ceased to consume me still. Since I'm a time clone, the infection did not spread like it had for my original self, but lately the small little voice had been clawing at my mind, harder and harder, especially when Grapple was in front of me and projected the same type of energy. Because of this, I beg you, Your Majesty, for your own safety, for our creature around here, and indeed, for the fate of the entire forest itself, I beg you to destroy me as well. That is crazy talk, and I will have none of it. Shining Armor denied, with a firm look to Sombra, but it soon softened as he went on. I faced the shadow of your corrupted future self myself. He once cursed my horn with black crystals, so that I could not perform my barrier magic. I'm willing to admit that, when I faced him muzzle to muzzle, I was terrified of him. I could see in his eyes, he wanted to kill me or save me very strongly. Perhaps even more strongly than my own will to live, but my newly wed wife was in the Crystal Empire at the time. So, too, was my own baby sister, and all of her friends. I tell this to you now to prove that I've had the experience with the first side of you. So, when I tell you this, I want to believe me. When I say the pony I see standing in front of me now is a completely different pony. You are an asset to our cause, not a liability, as you have already proven time and time again over these past few years. More than that, you have become a dear and loyal friend to us all. Also, he was still in a mind that he wanted to protect the victim right here. the princess. Even when he turned into darkness, he still had the mind of Sombra. Sombra the Crystaller. Now, I never thought I would ever say something like this. Back when I first met your corrupted future self, but I'm glad to get to know the real you, Sombra. You are instantly devoted and loyal pony, and your spirit and courage is inspiring to us all. Now I am proud to call you my ally and my friend. Yeah, all those black crystals didn't hit her. He could have easily killed both of them. And I have a feeling that he enjoyed, yes, I know that he enjoyed making Garber suffer. But still, some part of himself actually stopped the darkness from killing him in one go, because he could have easily done that. Because if he, even he said, if this is the only thing that stops me from killing you, that you have someone in your hands, in your claws, that I basically care about. Not to mention your knowledge and tactics, still added. I too was once lost in the darkness for many years. I became the pony of shadows. I was the epitome of corruption and darkness, quite likely to greater degree than ever you, but I was guided to see the light once again. I was shown that it was not really power that I was after, it's friendship. If we all stick together, we can have a power greater than anything in the darkness can throw at us. Yeah, we know that he was all about friendship. It was one great pony who made this happen. Which made that pony the worst pony of that season. On the other hoof, if we allowed Furia to destroy you, as you suggested, because there is a chance you could unleash your inner monster, then she might as well also destroy all the rest of us, for we all expose the same degree of risk. We all have darkness inside us. The only way we are going to beat it is if we choose to not embrace it, and instead embrace the light of friendship together. It was once like you, not too long ago, Starlight said. As she said this, her voice quivered with emotion, which was also visible as a red glint in her eyes. Yeah, I remember your reaction to that video. You actually thought of me. I too. Oh, it's Starlight, right? I too ruled with a small. I too ruled a small village with iron roof. I did it because I was angry and upset at friendship. I did not trust it since it seems so flimsy, but I was wrong. Again. One pony whose fault it was. Twilight and her friends helped me to see that, and little by little, that circle of friendship continued to expand every single day, and I'm so grateful for that. You can be too. You choose to embrace the light instead of the darkness. Also, unlike your true history, you have the advantage of moving forward with an informed decision. You already been told what could happen, and I can see in your eyes it fills you with powerful regret. Well, if that's true, then choose another path right now. Style thumped the roof. Be a better pony than King Sombra ever was. With him, he condemned another empire until it was later saved. But you have a chance to save the entire world with us, and believe me when I say you could be really good at it. Really good at it. If you just turn away from your fears and let us help you. It's Somnambula. Oh. One who I always make a mistake of her name. It is important that in these dark times, we all hold into each other in the light of hope. Sometimes you are sad, with a voice thick and with a noticeable accent. Hope is the flame of the gentle candle that ensures in the depths of darkness. Without it, we would all be lost. It is important that we all share the flame together, so we may all light our way to the victory, harmony, and prosperity. You just told us that you are feeling guilt over your failure defending the Crystal Queen in a bygone age. Twilight put forward in a sympathetic voice. It can be hard to do the right thing or to know. Wow. It can be hard to do the right thing or to know what to do sometimes. Believe me, I failed before too on so many things, but my friends helped me whenever I fell. If you choose again to abandon us to our fate, you will be failing to Crystal Queen again, for the Dark Star will extinguish her existence before she was ever born. The same goes for the Crystal Empire and all of its citizens. The same goes for your original self. I know, at first glance, that may seem like a good thing, but you have done so many good things too that won't even happen if you give up now. I whispered the message, then projected at Sombra through the wind. In the message, I reminded him of Angel's song. In the message, I told him her true name, which I will not repeat to you now, due to a promise I made to him. I told him that if I ever gave up on us now, then her lovely voice would never be lifted up to the heavens. I could tell by all his eyes fighting in shock that I hit a very strong nerve with that comment. I then said aloud, "Look at every creature around you, Sombra." Father Wind encouraged. "Look how much they care for you. Look at how many friends you have. Look at how many lives touched deeply already. And also realize how much you continue to influence us all. Please, do not take that away from us. Not when we all need you so desperately. Like it or not, you are an inspirational leader. If you quit now, consider what an example will inspire in the rest of us." Someone did as Father Wind requested. He slowly scanned around him, at all the various creatures who were stared back at him with one smile to varying degrees. I'm also looking out that there is a stupid cloud. Let me get a little bit of light in, though. Just a little bit. Maybe I can see the monitor better if there is not half light inside, but a full light. So, not an intelligent cloud, no, it's a stupid cloud. It's an annoying cloud, and we might have another storm coming up as well. I don't like that, because those storms actually just breaking my internet all the time. Considering how many creatures were there were, and their own various personalities, there were usually other emotions mixed in as well, but it was almost universally positive. Almost. In fact, the only creature who was out of place in this picture, from what we could tell, was Scratcher. He stood up straight and leaned both forward hooves in a gentle cold skin, which in turn propped him up in a 35-degree angle. While he did that, he had an edge of his fedora had tilted down enough so no creature could see his eyes, but Father Wind saw an evil smirk on his lips. He looked very satisfied in a disturbing sort of way. He acted like some evil agenda on his was proceeding smoothly so far. "Take your Dory, just like I planned." Father Wind privately vowed to comfort him on that shortly. Looking back at Sombra, Featherwind could tell he was being consumed by affectionate emotion as his gaze continued to sweep every single individual along the camp, which kept reaffirming the same message over and over again. It said to him that he was not alone, that he had friends who very much cared for him. Noticing that made him care about others as well. Tears were in his eyes by the time his scan was complete. He then closed his eyes and bowed his head. I have warned you all of the peril that dwells inside me, Sombra announced, but if you choose to face this risk further, then I will bow to the will of the vast majority of you. I promise I will do everything in my power to keep you safe, including from the danger that dwells within me. Since you are all of one mind, that also means you are of one heart. This exactly is the kind of energy that empowers the crystal heart so dramatically. As long as you all continue to feel this way, I will fight by your side. To make up for these mistakes I have made in the past, and on behalf of the bright and prosperous future, we fight together as one. We shall prevail! He lifted his head again, as he trembled with determination. As long as we continue to stand united, not even the greatest darkness will bring us down. A great cheer arose from nearly every creature gathered at the conclusion of these words, and that was the excuse Pinkie Pie needed to pull out her party cannon from seemingly out of nowhere and blast a ball of confetti that exploded in the air. Many creatures approached to pat Sombra on the back or embrace him in a hug, yet were relieved he changed his mind and bravely continued to join them, except Card Meanwhile, Featherwind gladdened Card then approached finally comfort him. I'm onto your little game. Featherwind warmed Card firmly. Oh, really? Card asked smugly as he continued to hide his eyes with the edge of his feather head. To which game are you referring? I am good at so many, you see. The only one that matters. Featherwind responded firmly. I'm warning you. I am watching you. Good. Karchak said it like a smooth criminal. He lifted his muzzle just enough so the bottom of his eyes were barely visible under the rim of his feather head. It's so good that you are watching my back. There are so many hidden evils out this world, you see. It's best we remain on the edge of the hooves, in order to remain prepared to face them. You never know what might strike next, even with our ranks, as you have just recently witnessed. Bears careful watching. Why did the doctor invite you? Featherwind asked suspiciously. You two are nothing alike. We have more in common than you might think. Though I'm beginning to suspect you are starting to realize that. Card gave a sly grin. Aside from that, he and I go way back. We have a lot of history together. He is my friend from a long time ago, and I shall always cherish those memories. It's a good thing too. Friendship can be weaponized in this world, it seems. Card chuckled darkly. There was a long time in my history when I never thought I would ever hear myself say something like this. Sam that. He shrugged. But here we are. What are you screaming at? Featherwind asked. He knew that question was a shot in the dark, but sometimes even what was not said could be just as important as what was said. He observed Karchak's reaction to the question very carefully, and he was disturbed by the gut feeling that Karchak was keenly aware of that, because he has a poker face. He's not showing anything. My, such an unsportsmanlike question of you, Karchak taunted. When we sit at a table and play cards, Do you really expect me to turn my cards around and reveal to you my entire hoof of cards? Besides, isn't the game more fun when you have first the opponent? Now Kachak gave a very evil smile. Featherwind was astonished to realize he wasn't even trying to hide that anymore. At least, not to Featherwind. It meant revealing that information was also part of a very complex, ingenious strategy. Yeah, when you are playing cards, you want the others to think that you have a good hand. Even probably you have nothing in your hand. Kasha lifted the tip of the Gentacord's cane and used it to pop the measure of Featherwind's very lightly. You have some skill, my young protege, but you have a long way to go before you can catch up to me or the doctor. Do be patient in the meantime and be very observant. I just want to learn if they are not paying attention. Think about it. Then all of a sudden, Kachak had a focused interest in Featherwind's cheeks, specifically in the right cheek, since Kachak tilted his head a bit to the left. What's this? You get a little something on your cheek? Kachak reached forward with his left hoof to apparently pluck something from Featherwind's right cheek. Pluck? How are you plucking with your hooves? Meanwhile, Featherwind was still entranced and very terrified of what this criminal mastermind might do next. Featherwind then winced in pain as he felt a sharp slice on his cheek. Oops, beg your God. Kachak said, in an insincere tone of apology, then withdrew playing cards from the Featherwind's right cheek. Featherwind looked at the card and noticed two things about it. One was the fact that it was a Joker card, and the other was the fact that there was blood on the edge of the card. In fact, there was more blood than Featherwind expected from such a brief and minor cut. Sorry, my friend, Kachak said in the same insistent tone. This card is sharp, I suppose. Why do I have a feeling of Gambit? From Kachak right here. Featherwind widened his eyes in horrified astonishment at what Kachak did next, which was finally quite creepy to behold. Kachak licked the blood of the edge of his own card and appeared to savor it. Yeah, I knew he would do that. For some reason. Tangy. Kachak remarked, then flashed the card more fully at Featherwind. Oh, look at this. What an interesting card I managed to pull off from you. It's a Joker card and I'm fond of these, for they are the rare card. They are a rare card in the deck, and they are very useful too. The reason why I say that is because the Joker stands apart from the rest of the meaningless numbers and suits around him, ranging from the weakest cards in the deck. Kachak gestured directly to Derpy, as an outward example of what he was talking about, which frankly made Featherwind quite mad. To the ace of the hole, Kachak went on. Then he gestured to Princess Celestia. No, I don't think Princess Celestia is the ace. She is the queen. Kachak then applied both hooves back on the top of the scale, then stepped the bottom tip back down to the ground. The deck is filled with many cards of all kinds of different suits, numbers and talents. Each is good at their own arena, but one thing they all have common is the fact during each and every single game they play, they are shuffled helpless in the deck. Because of that, they have no control over what they face next. The stronger the card is, the more often it tends to win, but wins what by chance? Why, it wins only what it happens to face at the time, which is random. That's the problem with cards shuffled in the deck. Each is lost in their own little worlds, full in mediocrity, idiosyncrasies. Wow, that's a word. Idiosyncrasies, foreign agendas, speed goals, and pointless dreams in life, lost in the wheel of time and fate. They have no idea how little they actually matter in the grand scheme of things. Things like that only known by the players of the game, and even only to some degree. That is why you want to have a good dealer who can shuffle the cards in order in which they want to. But the Joker, as I have stated, is a special case. It's special because it can become whatever it needs to be in order to win the match. It stands apart from the rest of the deck, where it can watch silently on a tiny little island of safety, like an island in the middle of the river of time. From that tactical position, the Joker had one chance to be a game changer in the face of fate. To make sure the best of that opportunity, it is important for the Joker to wait, watch and listen very carefully, because when fate does act, it will inevitably also be swept up in the rivers of time. By stepping off that safe little island in the middle of the river, even the Joker winds up getting shuffled into the deck then. My friend becomes just another pawn in the mechanization of cruel and sadistic fate. This said, really? But what will be, will be. He gave a mockingly innocent shrug. Oof. Also my voice is starting to go away, I can hear that. And I have no more coffee. Karchak paused there, to give Featherwind the chance to absorb this then. Just a little before Featherwind was ready, Karchak leaned forward, over his cane, with very narrow eyes, as he said, "Since you are somewhat intelligent, I believe I made my point. Dwell on it well, my friend, for it might be your last chance to do so. Wait, and listen. I warn you only once more. You will only get one chance to act when you do. Make sure it is as meaningful as possible when you do." Karchak stood up straight, then spun his cane, only to tuck it under one of his forward legs. "Until then, take care, my friend. Try to enjoy the game while you're at it. I know you will." Karchak was starting to pass Featherwind into his right. Featherwind said to him, "Whatever it is you're planning, I will stop you," Featherwind promised. I have a feeling Karchak is not evil. I have a feeling he is just how should I say this? He is a chaotic good. Because you are not sure that you want to stop him, are you? Also, this song is not gonna be continuing. That command made Karchak pause, then laugh, as if Featherwind had made a very funny joke. After that, he looked at Featherwind and said, "My dear friend," as he leaned forward Featherwind considerably more in order to whisper Featherwind's ear, "I'm counting on it." Then he stood up straight, again, with an overly happy smile, and closed his eyes with a kind of creepy facial expression. "Toodles for now." Karchak them footed past Featherwind. Featherwind thought quickly on what Karchak said, and realized there was another piece of information he might have been able to draw out of this other chilling pony. He looked back and asked, "If you see me as the Joker, what god are you?" Karchak paused as he says, "Me?" He then peered over to his right shoulder at Featherwind under the rim of his fedora head, as he said, "Why, I'm the king, baby!" Karchak made two clicking sound effects as he winked back at Featherwind, then looked forward and resumed onward. "King? The king of what? Hearts, spades, clovers, diamonds, which one?" Featherwind's mind thought of the cutie mark on Karchak's flank in case that had any clue, which widened his eyes as he realized something. "Another above! His cutie mark has 5 cards spread upside down U-shaped pattern. Top of card is clover, I think. Next is diamond, then spade, the heart. The last card doesn't really belong in the deck of cards at all. And the final card is the image of a king chess piece that belongs to another game entirely. The last card in the set does not belong with the other 4, but some people might not realize it because it has been shuffled into the deck. We know that Karchak is playing an entire different game than this war right here." Featherwind put a hoof on his lips as he concentrated on the torso pose. His eyes quickly shifted back and forth with a rapid calculating look. "What's more, it's the last card in the set and is partially covered by the previous one, which is hearts." Featherwind tapped his lips. The king in a chess represents the most critical piece of the game. If the king falls, the game is over for that player. The king in the chess is also the mastermind behind all of the other pieces in the game. In order to win effectively, he plays his army strategically, and a typical good player knows when it's time to make aggressive moves, defensive moves, or sacrifices. A good chess player is strategic, cold, and methodical. A good chess player uses his wits to manipulate the game and outmaneuver his opponent, and by extension, the fate of the game itself. But Karchak is the hidden king. He is the hidden mastermind of the game. Is he hidden though? No. He hides behind every card that came before him, fully willing to give credit where credit isn't due, in the hopes of setting up a long-range strategy, a long con. He's hidden antagonist that tends to think at least 10 steps ahead and ahead of the rest of his opponents. Only 10? That's not enough. His name is also Double Dealer, which strongly implies treachery, lies, and deception. His name is Karchak, which implies he's really good at whatever game he plays, and he plays with double deals. It means he's willing to cheat in order to win the game, although he might not necessarily do so in each and every case. Instead, he would only use whatever strategy is most effective at the time, even if that happens to be an honest game. He only cares about winning, no matter the cost. He certainly made it clear he does not care for the creatures around him, and I have never observed him giving any meaningful energy to Crystal Heart, even though that artifact is using that energy to keep us all safe. It's because he can't afford his energy, even if it's for his own benefit. He has no compassion to give. For some reason, he also has a close connection to the Doctor. That may be the key to really figuring this pony out. Now, I just have to bring it all together. He's an evil strategist, willing to perform anything it takes to win whatever agenda he's pursuing. He's really good at it too. It's almost as if he had centuries of practice. He's the hidden mastermind behind whatever plot he's in, willing and able to pull the strings from the shadows. He doesn't care who he has to hurt to get his way. No, I take that back. He does care about who he has to hurt. He cares because it pleases him to harm others. In his mind, that's already winning the game, or at least accomplishing the secondary objective. He is beyond the genius when it comes to psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, and mental manipulation. Somehow, this all ties back to the Doctor. Now, who do I know that's connected to the Doctor? The Doctor's past that also fits all the bills. It's the Master. In truth, it didn't take long to figure out the answer. I think the real reason it took so long to finally dawn on me was because the truth was so horrifying that I did not want to know the truth because it had terrifying implications. Father Wind widened his eyes in horror when he finally saw all the connections. There was one individual that fit all the bills, but it was actually one of the Doctor's main enemies. Oh my Celestia! 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 We are in serious trouble here! Father Wind regarded Karchak in extreme horror. As if sensing the security, Karchak looked back at Father Wind while talking some other pony. Upon seeing Father Wind's look of horror, dark glint of satisfaction appeared deep in Karchak's eyes, but then looked back and resumed talking to the one he spoke before. And later then we realized that it's not actually the master, it's just Karchak, and he just made a fun of Featherwind by making him think that he is the master. I can't believe it! It's him! It's really him! To encounter him in this situation, oh my Celestia! We could be really screwed here! Featherwind looked at the Doctor and wondered if the Doctor knew the truth too. It seemed likely that the Doctor should be aware of this fact, but an opponent this brilliant has slipped under the Doctor's notice before, at least at first. Then Featherwind widened his eyes again as he realized something else. He looked at Karchak's daughter, the great and powerful Trixie, Lula Moon. If I'm right about what I think I'm right about, then it might imply something important about her too. Featherwind realized, then thought of something else. Hold on, wait a second. To my knowledge, he has never had a daughter before. Or any foal, for that matter. Featherwind regarded Karchak with renewed suspicion and confusion. That's already a break in the pattern, unless it's to eventually accomplish some evil scheme later on. But why? Then admit to his daughter that he was a criminal mastermind. Where's the calculated advantage in that? Why involve Trixie at all? It might not be the Doctor's idea to include her, but Karchak's. Whatever the reason for that, it likely isn't good. On the other hand, Featherwind regarded Trixie with a fond and optimistic half-grin. Trixie herself does not seem that bad, based on the testimonies I've received. She was kind of mean at one time, but nowhere near as bad as her father, except perhaps once when she wore an evil soul-sucking amulet. I wonder if that was her father's idea. Featherwind rolled his eyes. Jeez, it's amazing what comes up in therapy sessions sometimes. One could think that would be an interesting history she would want to keep buried, but it still came up anyway. Since her father was involved in most of these sessions due to the problem being mostly between them, I have to wonder if he tricked her on purpose to reveal certain embarrassing detail out loud. Why? Because he knew certain ponies were eavesdropping? Well, not exactly eavesdropping. I was invited to the sessions in order to record it, and Karchak knew that. He may have even counted on that. That was Starlight's idea, right? My mom always says yes. I participated in a few other sessions before Trixie and her father. I still can't rule out the possibility that Karchak planted the idea in Starlight's head, at least subconsciously. In that case, why does he want me to know he's a potential hidden enemy? How can he gain from that? Featherwind sighed. If he really is as smart as I think he is, then I'm way out of my league here. I got a gut feeling that Karchak is aware that I actually fear evil geniuses because of my experiences with Plague. Since I know this guy is also a master of psychology, I have to assume he's gotten into my head as well. The most likely reason is to paralyze me with fear, and by Celestia, it sure worked. And that is where I'm gonna stop. This is where I'm gonna stop right now because I'm getting super hungry. If that's okay with you. We learned a lot about Karchak, did we not? That he might be possibly the master. Yeah, I'm already losing my voice and I feel my leg being losing energy. And also I'm out of drink, so this is gonna be a stopping point. Tomorrow I will continue if my net is still gonna be holding up. Sadly, this month is horrible for me. Or the last month as well. You saw when my internet just cut out for no reason all the times. And there are lots of storms around. For some reason it cleared out, so there are the clouds just went away. There were no storm, luckily. But yeah, it's getting interesting, that's for sure. But I still think killing Garper was a bad idea, even though Sombra's announcement made it better, but still, they didn't need to kill Garper. You said on Discord, the internet is shut down, but you had your power at least. Yep, I still had my power. Because I have a little bit of internet on my phone, which in emergency I can use. It's not limitless though, so I can use it to chat, but I can't use it to stream. It would be nice if I could stream in from that, but because then I would be able to just read it out loud, not be able to do things like this, but I could still read it at that point. So yeah, what do you think of this speeches of Sombra? Luna's visit in Feather Windstream. Well, you know that I thought that wait, something is wrong. Luna shouldn't be here. Then I realized, yeah, that's just a dream. It's not Luna's visit in Feather Windstream. It's Luna's visit in Vision's dream. And basically, the fact that Luna is the one, or not Luna, Nightmare Moon is the reason that Vision actually gained access to those nightmare visions, which are basically the reason that they are still here at this point. It's a thing she can do. That is basically the reason that this actually happening. By all means. Now realize that now it means Celestia banishing Luna to the moon is actually definitely a time point. How do you call it? It's a fixed point in time that cannot be changed at this point anymore. Because if comes full circle, huh? Yep. If you change that, everything is gonna be a disaster. None of it is gonna happen if you do that. Time paradoxes tend to fix themselves at one point. Even though we know we only live one timeline, even though many other timelines exist at one point, and at this point I would also reference my favorite anime series, which is Steins Gate, which explains very well time traveling as it goes. But yeah, they have to save their own timeline, or at least go to a timeline where it stays at the same. Time traveling series is really strange. It can become quite complicated quite easily. Got a question, okay? Waiting for the question. It's gonna be a long question, isn't it? Not much is left to the chapter. Are you going to finish that, then read on to the next reading session? Otherwise it might be... let's see. I'm gonna see... Chapters, next chapter. Chapter 23 is 40,000 words. And let's search for a stopping point there. I might do that. We will see. That might be a thing. But we will see how much energy I will have tomorrow. There's a few. It's only 40,000 words. We will see. I might even have finished 23 as well in that. It depends on how much energy and internet I will have. So I will list it as reading at 22 and 23. Yep, I will do that. And it seems I forgot to change this to low latency stream, but that makes sense. I don't like that I have to do it all the time, but hey, it's new, but it's okay. Cool. Also one, tomorrow same time. Tomorrow same time at 8 AM, at least my time 8 AM, the same time when I started now. Oh, by the way. Yes. Italy, please, and missing many chapters here. Yep, I know, because YouTube is messing up all the time. I will fix that at some point. I will probably fix that when we get to the end of it. Because if I fix it now, it will just keep doing that again. But there are still a lot more chapters. I know. I will fix it at the weekend. To make it others easier to keep track of the site. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I need to fix it, and I know that sometimes when I upload something, it's gonna get blocked, delayed, blah blah blah. Removed from the playlist. It's just a whole mess that YouTube is doing. Oh, they passed the longest chapter. From now on, they will get shorter and shorter. Yeah, it seems like it. And today is... okay, Wednesday. Friday... I'm thinking how we can do this. But yeah, okay. But now I'm gonna stop. Unless you still have any other questions. And I'm gonna prepare some food because I'm hungry. One question, you streaming game next? A little bit later. Wait. Someone is calling us, but I don't care about that. At this point. Yeah, I will stream some Persona 5, but not yet. It will be at least 2 hours later. Because I need to eat. I need to make some food. It's gonna take a while. And I'm not gonna stream while eating. That's for sure. So in 2.5 hours. It went correction to this chapter, thanks to your feedback. Thanks for the chapter. Let's just say it like that. We still have some parts to finish it. It is a long walk. It is a long walk, that's for sure. But now I'm gonna leave. We will see what's gonna happen next tomorrow. Thanks for being here. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye. I have no idea how I will do the opening. I will probably just... Yeah, I will need to fix this. Because it only shows chapter 22. I enjoyed it as always. I enjoyed it as well.